Wiregrass Angel House is among crime victim advocates opposed to a bill that could reduce time violent offenders are locked up. The bill would give judges discretion to split sentences up to 30 years instead of the current 20-year cap. For instance, those judges can now split a 20-year or less sentence to serve, allowing convicts a portion of their sentence behind bars, followed by probation upon release. What the proposed law would do is make 10 years prison time mandatory for those sentenced to more than 20 years.
There is a mom who called a sister agency that we work with and asked the question, so are you telling me that my child's life is worth only 10 years? And the advocate responded, yes, that's exactly what the legislature is saying. This bill completely circumvents the parole process.
The measure proposed by Representative Jim Hill cleared the House yesterday and moves on to the Senate, where Perry and others hope it is defeated.